What is going on YouTube? Lamont at large. Today I'm in Bass Pro Shops, location unknown. So today I'm going to be playing an interview that I did with somebody that is currently incarcerated in the state of Ohio. I had to disguise his voice because the subject matter in which he's talking about could likely get him hurt if they knew who was talking about what they were talking about in the facility they're currently in. During this video interview, you're going to be hearing inmate 44 pausing his words, saying quite a bit. I need to explain to you guys the reason why he's doing that. He's talking about something that can get him very, very seriously hurt. So when he's talking to me on the payphone, there's guys that are walking right by him, so he has to just kind of pause to let them, continue on walking, because there's a lot of nosy people in prison and they want to hear what he has to say. And also, I want to talk about the title of the video before I play the interview. Now, I know some of you are not going to like the title. You're going to say the title has a lot of racial components. You're going to say the title is racist in itself. Everything is racist nowadays. But I want to tell you this. This channel is not a safe space. This channel is a channel where people tell the truth. And on this channel, during this interview, the gentleman that I'm speaking with, who I've spoke to on the phone quite a number of times, he's living his life behind bars. He's been behind bars for well over 30 years. And that's his reality. That's not yours and my reality. We normally every day don't wake up and have to fear for our lives or be scared of whatever somebody's gonna say about whatever. He lives that every day. He's living in a facility that is ran by mostly predominant black gangs. Prison is a very, very racist place. There's a lot of people that go to prison that are not racist. They go to prison and they become that way. Prison is not meant to rehabilitate. It's meant to keep you right where you're at. It's meant as a punishment and partly a deterrent to keep good people away from people that are not so good. With that being said, I'll play the interview. Please let me know in the comments what you think.
Okay. My name is unimportant. I've been in prison for over 3 decades. It's a pretty rough place in here. This one's not even the roughest of some of the roughest I've been in. I've been in some very bad places, but for the most part, it's ran by gangs, and there's really no strong white gangs that I know of. They pretend to be. There'll be a lot of yeah, we're tough. We fight. We stand up for what we believe in, but that's only against each other. That when it comes down to it, the blacks run the prison, the black gangs. They're in control of everything. They're in control of everything from who does what, who don't do what, the dope that's being sold, the who's hitting who. There's no violations to speak of for real in their gangs. They do whatever they want to do. There's a lot of open homosexuality homosexuality in gangs here, as to where in these same gangs, if you were somewhere else in another state or something like this, it wouldn't even exist. You'd probably be killed for what you do in this state. I know you wouldn't be a part of something, and I don't even know their bylaws and stuff like that. I just know that, you know, common sense tells me that you can't do the things that they do here. They steal from each other. They go around in gangs, strip search people, steal their TVs, take their commissaries. The CEOs say they don't handle no inmate theft. They don't have no inmate theft policy. They don't protect that, or refurbish that. They don't refurbish. Excuse me. They don't reimburse that, and so they tell you to basically do what you do. You know, if you ain't gonna do nothing about it, then you ain't gonna do nothing about it. But the minute that you stand up and do something about it, like a few nights ago, a black gang jumped on them. They were Bloods, and they jumped on a white dude, and for no reason, just wanted to take his headphones and stuff that he got in the box. And he stood up for himself and beat him. He beat him up twice, and then they jumped him in gangs of 5 and more, and they just kept beating him up. And so when one of them went to sleep, he went up and busted his head with a lock, and hurt him pretty bad. And I was told today, I don't know if it's true or not, but I was told today that the guy's still in the outside hospital. Anyway, the black gangs rose up against the whites in the house. Another white gang, they were called the C-Dubs, the Cincinnati White Boys, and they called them all out and made them, and told them they had to get in the bathroom and fight, and they didn't want to fight. They kept saying, we don't have nothing to do with it, we don't have nothing to do with it, but they made them fight and jumped them anyways, and now they're all locked up, and from what I understand, they're waiting to be rolled to another prison or whatever, but that's just what you hear in inmate.com. As far as what's really, really going on, I don't know, but I know what I see in here, and I know what I see in here all the time, every day. You know, like they gang up on the phones and say this is from this city, or we're from this city, or we're from this gang, or we're from this place. You know, this is who uses this phone, and very few people, very few white dudes stand up for themselves in these prisons. And when they do, they get jumped. And when they retaliate in a violent way, they get rolled out and get a new case and all that stuff, get took to court. But this is a catch-22 situation in Ohio. This is the way it's designed, you know. And all this, it's so hypocritical. It's just so much bullshit. You can't tell a guy that, you know, he has to stand up for himself and do what he does, and then when he does, you know, the only thing that he can do, because he's getting jumped by multiple people, then you want to give him an outside case and a charge, you know. And that's so sad. That's just so sad. Um, Me, myself, and I, I've been in fights here. Uh, it's they'll always pick out somebody that'll be, twice your size, somebody that's got a lot of power, and because they call themselves picking a shot, so to speak. They want to pick on somebody smaller than them. Like I'm a very small person, and I'm an older man. I'm in my 50s, and I've had it to where I got into an argument with one gang member, and he called me out, and I told him, I said, look, man, I don't want to fight you. I really don't. I don't want to fight you. Well, why are you saying something about this or saying something about that? Uh, I'm the one being disrespected and done wrong. But if I speak up and say something about it, then they want to jump me. So back to what I was saying, I'm telling the guy, man, look, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. And while I'm telling him that, another one comes up behind me and hits me from behind. And but lucky for me, he hit like he didn't have no power and didn't hurt me, and I just left him walk away. Because it's that's what it is in this prison. If you get in a fight with if you're white and you get in a fight with a black dude, believe me, you're getting jumped. You're getting jumped on. Period. And whether or not he can beat you up or not, whether or not you can beat him up, you can be the softest dude in here, like have no work at all, no kind of fighting skills at all, and they will jump you and torture you because that's just what they think is the right thing to do in here. I don't understand why, but that's the way it is. And there's lots of places where the police can't see you, even though they have cameras in the dorms, in the bed areas and in the day room, stuff like that. There's places like on the back walls and bathrooms, showers, where the police can't see you, and they got a two-way mirror that they look through, but a lot of times they'll just look through and look the other way. I've seen in multiple times where people have been severely injured here, and they still live here. They still walk around here like nothing happened, and nobody does nothing to them. There's no charge put on them, because nobody's seen what they did, what they did to the person when they was walking out of the shower or the bathroom or whatever, or on the back wall somewhere where they couldn't see. It's a hell of a life to live, man. Uh, I've been assaulted, yes, and I stabbed the guy for it, and that's why the parole board, says that they keep saying that I'm violent, and every time I get in a fight or something like that, they give me 5 years. Every time there's something violent that happens, they give me time. And you gotta understand this, man. I'm 130 some pounds. I'm less than 5'7". You you have no idea how much horror I can tell you about, for real, man. You know, I have an ego, I have pride, man, and I've hid a lot of things from you, you know. Like that boy, remember that boy that was calling you, Nate? Yeah, he's no longer in here, in this block. And he said they were pressing him, and, he checked in, he got locked, he went under suicide watch and got locked up. I've witnessed sexual assaults. And I've even witnessed murder. And I've witnessed it. And I've witnessed the SEALs doing nothing about it until it was over with. These are things that are hard not to talk about because I'm being recorded on a phone. Like when they record me, they know who I am on this phone. Out there, it's different. You know, you can edit things out there. And see, what I say in here will come back on me. Saying that, I mean, I can tell you things, but I have to edit things. Like I can't really say, you know, things that happen exactly the way they happen because it's like.
Okay,
You know,
can you talk about it in a vague way? For instance, I'll give you an example. Like let's pretend I'm you. All right, so what they'll do is if they see a guy that comes in here and he's new and he looks kind of meek and frail, they'll kind of test him. At first, they'll come up to him and just be nice to him and say, "Hey, man, you want a soup? You want this? You want that?" And then they'll start.
Well, the biggest thing is drugs. They give them drugs. They get them hooked on drugs. Like this is this is like there are more people here like that, you know, than you would believe. And I mean, they're like, you know how they do it on the street? They prostitute themselves on the street. How people prostitute themselves on the street to get money. Well, they do that in here too.
What would it cost to have a encounter with somebody that is willingly doing this?
I mean, a $10 piece of dope. Some cheaper than that. It just depends. It's real. It's real crazy the things you see here and the things that you know the way that people think. You know, like if you try to like befriend somebody and be and show them the right way, and you know, it's like there's no way if they're vulnerable to being tricked some kind of way, if they're vulnerable to being sucked into the wrong way, somebody in here is going to find how to do that, and they're, you know, before you know it, it's a bad deal.
What's the worst thing that you've ever seen there or in any prison?
The worst thing that I ever seen was in the Old Mansfield and Lucasville. In the Old Mansfield and Lucasville, I've seen inmates raped. I've seen inmates murdered. I've seen inmates disfigured. Their whole face, their whole skull, you know, their whole facial bones crushed in. I've, I've seen people cut from ear to ear, and I've seen people walk around with these scars that lived through it somehow. Um, um, the worst thing for a person in here right now, you just don't, man, it is so fucking expensive to live in here, man. Like, I mean, like, to eat, like, you know, I make $18 state pay a month. I get $18 for a whole month of work. Okay? And, okay, a summer sausage, a meat summer sausage costs $2.05. Chicken costs $5. You know, bag of rice is $1. Chips are $1.50. You know, just anything that you can, everything that even a little single pickle is $1. You know, or a box of macaroni, or it's just hard to live in here, man. You know, and I've gotten to where I literally just starve myself from day to day. And that's the truth. I literally, because the food in the town hall is so horrible that I mean, I force myself to go eat once a day. And, but for the most part, you know, I'm just laying here waiting to die.